Welcome, teachers and staff. We are here today to discuss acceptable use policies. What are they? Why do we have them? What do they do? And how can you best comply to them? In order to help you better understand all of the above, specifically how it relates to our Baltimore City Public School System acceptable use policy, we have put together this short presentation. What is an acceptable use policy? An acceptable use policy is a policy put in place by a business or school system which filters, screens, and monitors employee or student and faculty technology use. The acceptable use policy contains a set of guidelines and regulations set forth for the purpose of protecting employees or students and staff from a variety of technology infractions, including but not limited to exposure to inappropriate or offensive material, breaches of privacy, copyright or licensing infractions, and cyberbullying. An overview of the Baltimore City Public School System Acceptable Use Policy. The Baltimore City Public School System's Acceptable Use Policy is overseen by the Chief Information Officer and can be found in its entirety on the Baltimore City Public School System website listed below. The Baltimore City Public School System Acceptable Use Policy has set forth separate guidelines for staff and students, as well as outlined violations and corresponding consequences for each. Key areas for students are privacy and electronic surveillance, the use of the internet, cyberbullying and online safety, use of removable media, violations, enforcement, and penalties. Key areas for staff include privacy and electronic surveillance, software licensing, use of email, the use of the internet, use of removable media, end of use, violations, enforcement, and penalties. How to implement an acceptable use policy with students. In order to ensure that students will, to the best of their ability, try to comply with the acceptable use policy set forth by the district, it is your job as an educator to ensure that both students and their parents have been sufficiently informed as to its components. Simply providing parents and students with a copy of the acceptable use policy and having them sign it is not enough. It is your job to go over it in detail, discuss the key components, and any questions or concerns that may arise. Key areas in the Baltimore City Public School System Acceptable Use Policy for students include how to identify and navigate away from inappropriate material, privacy regulations, cyberbullying, what copyright is, what removable devices are and how to recognize malicious software, and privacy settings and appropriate content. How to navigate away from inappropriate material. In accordance with the Child Internet Protection Act, Baltimore City Public School System employs the use of filtering techniques to pre-screen sites for questionable material. Sites found to be offensive, unsuitable, or objectionable, or to compromise the security and integrity of the Baltimore City Public School System's communication systems are, as a result, blocked from student or faculty use. Unfortunately, even with the best filtering systems in place, the chances of a student coming across inappropriate material are still there. A student's ability to navigate away from the questionable material in a timely fashion is crucial in minimizing that student's exposure to it or to exposing other students to it as a result. Teaching students to use the browser's back button to navigate away from the screen or the red X to close out the site are good tactics to use. Internet safety, private settings, and security. As educators, we have a duty to teach our students not only how to use the internet and technology, but how to do so safely. Included in that is teaching them the importance of privacy settings, that nothing on the internet is truly private, and that the internet is forever. Cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, as defined by the Baltimore City Public School System Acceptable Use Policy, is the use of any electronic communication device to convey a message in any form, text, image, audio, or video, that defames, intimidates, harasses, or is otherwise intended to harm, insult, or humiliate another in a deliberate, repeated, or hostile and unwanted manner under a person's true or false identity. Additionally, any communication that disrupts or prevents a safe and positive educational environment may also be considered cyberbullying. Students are highly encouraged to report any incidents of cyberbullying immediately to either a principal or a teacher, and are also requested to preserve any evidence of cyberbullying. All incidents of cyberbullying are taken seriously, and if incidents are proven to be true, the city schools may revoke the privilege of a student who uses city schools' communication systems or related equipment to engage in cyberbullying. Copyright. In order to prevent students from engaging in copyright infringement, it is crucial that students are made aware of what copyright is. Practice activities in having students write down the author, the copyright date, and the website that the information was obtained from are good practices in ensuring that in the future they will always credit their sources. The use of removable media. The use of flash drives or removable media devices are almost necessary to transport files or complete educational requirements in this day and age. Students are asked to take precautions to ensure that removable media devices being shared between non-city schools' computers and city schools' computers are free of viruses or malicious software. It is our duty as educators to ensure that our students are able to do this to the best of their ability by teaching them to recognize malicious software as well as to understand the harmful consequences that it could cause. Implementing the acceptable use policy as a staff member. The best way for a staff member to adhere to the policies is to be aware of all components of the acceptable use policy. Again, the full acceptable use policy can be found at the Baltimore City Public School System website listed at the end of this presentation. Some tips for staying safe on the web as a staff member are to be aware of all guidelines, to limit technology usage to only educationally related activities. The best way to prevent misconduct through personal usage is to have none. To have parents sign waivers. Be very clear with your parents about how you intend to use student pictures and work, and have parents give written permission to do so. Do not refer to work-related activities in any capacity during personal internet usage. Again, you can't get in trouble for what you don't do. Keep privacy settings for both educational internet usage and private internet usage private. Conduct yourself online as you would in person. Remember that no online communication is truly private, and if you wouldn't say or do it